we're watching NBA TV as one does at this hour and this time of the year, and Iceman's on with Scal. And we were saying how Iceman is kind of committed to this hairstyle, that we don't think that he could ever change that hairstyle. There's not much of an evolution there. It's just this is his look, and he's going to kind of have that hairstyle forever. There's not a ton that he could do with it. And then we looked at Dan, and we said, you know what? Dan with a little bit of a salt and pepper going on with the beard. The glasses now, rounder version of the glasses. He's got kind of like an Andy Garcia vibe to him. And we think that if he throws in a scarf, that it would really take his look to the next level.
That's how older Cuban gentlemen age. They mix in a scarf.
But not like Martin Short type. You know what I mean?
No.
Like we'd have to get the right scarf, I think, for him. And then it was kind of suggested back here, maybe we soft launch the rebrand with an ascot, and then we move into the scarf.
I like that idea.
Look, I don't think there's any soft launching with an ascot. I actually think that's more aggressive than the scarf.
Really?
You have it reversed. You soft launch the ascot with the scarf.
Now, Andy Garcia does a kerchief, though. That's the classiest, right? Like you guys, he's doing it correctly. You throw in a scarf with me, it's asinine. It's like truly
stuffy.
ridiculous.
It's a little stuffy for you.
But I like it as a character evolution. Old Cuban man with a scarf. Like I'm going for great style in my late Cuban age.
I've seen you wear a scarf a couple of times. It's not a good look for you.
Well,
yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah,
Like,
Vegas.
They look small. Like
Did he have those glasses on?
I don't know. It looks the way a sports coat looked on Chris Farley.
You guys think I should let you guys dress me? Because I think I might give Tony a shot at it.
I think, Dan, I could put you together, get some more beads on your hands, on your wrists.
Yeah,
like a couple
you're
beads.
approaching that
Definitely
age.
beads, yeah.
Like 10 of them, though. Like
10.
It looks like a QB wristband,
So
but like all
many
beads.
beads.
You got to get the one with the one like white bead on it too, and it's like, this is ice from Antarctica, and this really keeps me balanced.
So you guys going to set that up for me? You guys want to style me? Do you
Yeah.
want to?
Yeah, you need
should we have a
styling.
week where you guys style me? You're saying I need styling?
Yeah, you gotta have styling. I see you in a pipe. You gotta take up pipe smoking.
Yeah, in a
with
pipe.
a pipe.
Pipe.
No, in a
Interesting.
pipe, yeah.
Yeah. I see you with a pipe, not in a pipe.
I cannot wait to get to your dolphin thoughts.
I can't wait to give them.
I think I have a breathless South Florida, the way they used to around an AM radio, as Jimmy Cephalo and Joe Rose die a syllable at a time on the air. Greg Cote right now has a unique access to dolphin feelings as the author of Fins at 50.
Yes, I gotta update that book because it would now be Fins at 60.
Your team is the greatest laughing stock on earth, not known as the Jets.
Correct. Yes. Although the Dolphins had more than negative 10 yards passing Sunday, so it was a positive. You know, I'm seeing the glass half full. Yesterday.
No, don't do that.
I know, I'm kidding. At this point, I'm kidding.
I mean,
There were signs.
At least there wasn't a terrible press conference.
Winter's on face off, now the time is here. Mix them up as you're changing on the fly. Hip checks, head tricks are gonna make them cheer. Got the block turned to chirping riding high. Now it's time for action, tonight's gonna burn this barn right up. Slap shot will light the lamp so nice. Let's go for a breakaway on the chase to raise the cup. We'll be standing on our heads till we meet them at center ice. Hockey is back, Jack. Hockey is back, Jack. Hockey is back, Jack, baby, and we'll meet you at center ice.
The Panthers are 3-0.
Damn right. 79 more.
They're at the top of the standings. The Panthers, I have to. I'm obligated to start football instead of where the real excellence resides. I'm going to do drama and bullshit at quarterback instead of like where greatness resides.
If the Panthers go undefeated in the regular season, but then lose in the playoffs, is it viewed differently than the Dolphins going undefeated throughout the entire regular season and playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Got to do it in the playoffs.
The
Inter
Heat-
Miami
the
found
Heat-
that out
The
last
Heat
year.
are 0-4. The Heat are 0-4.
Yeah. Nobody counts.
It's the preseason.
No big games in
Relax.
October.
Oh, but I thought when they were 4-0 in the preseason with Wade and LeBron and Bosh, I thought back then when it mattered like that, the preseason did matter when we cared about seasons like that.
Yeah, different expectations.
Cared about seasons the way that you care about the Panther season, which opens with 3 wins at home. But I do feel obligated to get to the Jets first, not even the Tua stuff, because the Jets stuff is hysterical. Like the worst passing performance ever in non-weather conditions. Like, I understand a terrible passing performance if it's like crazy snow and stuff, but you're going to have -10 in the passing age. You're going to have -10 yards. Your coach is going to be overmatched and fired and like halfway through the season because they don't know what they're doing at the end of halves. And he's getting mad at the media because he's still arguing that what we saw from Justin Fields was professional quarterbacking when you see what's happening in that league. That's not what quarterbacking looks like. Everything needs to happen a lot faster than that. Caleb Williams had to learn it like that. Justin Fields had to learn it like that. Justin Fields, you're not learning it fast enough. Justin Fields, you're finished as a quarterback in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're avoiding the Chiefs, aren't you?
I owe Nick Wright a white Corvette.
We changed it after the bet was made. I don't think we
No,
don't have
I
any
owe
tape.
him. I owe him a white Corvette.
Or $5,000.
No, or $5,000.
That was the bet made.
The bet was $5,000.
The bet was $5K.
We decided to joke Corvette.
No, I asked Erlene, your wife, for the VIN number of your. I'm trying to buy your white Corvette to give it to
We're
him.
efforting
because
we're efforting to find that original Corvette, the white one that my dad got.
That would be so
no,
cool.
I lost the bet, and it's not even a bet I understand. Like the reason I don't understand the bet is why am I now the guy who's against the Chiefs? All I've said is that their offense has been bad for a year and a half.
That's not what happened. Oh, that is rich, pal. Are you serious? What? No, you own that.
What do I own?
Oh, stop.
What's wrong with the offense?
Oh, he's a dink and dunk quarterback now.
Pretty sure you said it was done.
You guys put that on.
No.
This is rich.
Eat it.
This is something special.
Okay? So
No, it's me. It's us. It's everybody else.
I owe Nick Wright a white Corvette. It is now 3 outstanding debts. We should do sports trivia. Maybe we should do it at this crappy watch party we got to do for the world's crappiest game, sponsored by Miller Lite. This is going to be a blast.
The game might be crappy, but this event.
No,
Woof.
we're going to do a block party. We haven't had a party around here in a while, and we need one. We need a party around here. And we're going to do it around the Ravens and the Dolphins, no matter how many losses there are between them. Come watch Lamar Jackson. Maybe. And a defense for the Ravens that has given up more points than Ray Lewis's Ravens gave up the entire Super Bowl season. Come watch it with us October 30th as part of a Halloween celebration. So there's going to be costume stuff. I'm trying to get Greg Cody's white Corvette that I now owe. It's 3 outstanding debts, and I'd like to do sports trivia. Do you guys know what my 3 outstanding debts are? Because I don't know. I know what the 3 are. I only know, though, what 2 of them are about. The white Corvette I now owe, Nick Wright. Do you know the other 2? 2 debts I have not paid.
I don't.
Maybe we'll leave it unsaid for a while. If you guys don't know, then it's a difficult trivia question because I like to pay my debts. And I've got 2 that are outstanding on this show that surely listeners will remember, even if you guys don't. But, Billy, how mad are you at Tua today? How mad are you at the Dolphins? How mad are you at everything Miami before we get to Greg Cote as the author of Fins at 50?
Wait, don't you have to do a Prince Fielder photo shoot?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the one I don't know why I owe that. Like, you guys have said that, but it's kind of like this Chiefs thing you just did to me.
No, it's nothing like that.
Yeah. You guys made
We
it
did
so.
not. No.
You guys made it so.
We are flatly holding the line here. We're not going to let you do
That's
that,
fine.
you weasel.
That's fine.
That is the most weaselly thing you have done in a long time.
You thought the Chiefs' offense
we kept
was
trying
bad?
to help you. We kept throwing you lifesavers.
That's
Dan,
right.
don't do this.
Yep.
Don't do this. They got guys coming back. Don't do this. And you're like, they're
Rasheed
done.
Rice is coming back this week.
They're dead. They're
done.
dead.
Mahomes is
They're
done.
that.
Okay.
He's over, Mahomes.
Dink and dunk.
Now we've got some stakes with Nick Wright, don't we? When we've opened with a white Corvette, he's the big Chiefs guy, and you guys are putting something on me that's already cost me a white Corvette.
You asked to make that bet. You're like, 5,000. I'll give you points. These are direct quotes.
That's correct. But the bet that I am now stuck with. If you guys can find the sound, I'm happy to take the L on this. I'm already owing a white Corvette, which is why I'm spending the weekend with Greg's wife trying to get a VIN number to a white Corvette. I may just send him the one that Billy found, though, that doesn't have a transmission, so I can have the joke of he's just got a burden and a responsibility in front of his brownstone.
You were walking back your Chiefs take so hard. Jeremy found a quote. Jeremy, can you please inform Dan and the audience?
Quote, he is a dink and dunk quarterback. I don't believe that if Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, you mentioned Worthy's out, I can have them lose guys and they'll have a variety of game. They'd have a versatility required in today's game that wouldn't make them look as unaesthetically pleasing as what I'm watching from the Chiefs. You assumed every game that they were going over 30 points. That team's dead. Dan Le Batard.
Whoa.
That team is dead.
Own that.
That team last night had one play of 30 yards.
In fairness, they also,
look at the pivot.
They also didn't go over 30 points. They stopped at 30 yesterday,
Look,
so he wasn't wrong about that.
The team that is dead, and I will remain believing is dead. I don't want to start with the Chiefs, but since we're here, I owe a white Corvette. That's the starting on the bidding, and now I'm going to up the stakes because I'm going to bet Nick Wright all season on whatever this is because I don't believe the Chiefs are going to be a champion again, and I believe their offense, and I'm saying something factual and empirical here. Over the last year and a half before the last two games, the Chiefs' offense has been dreadful to watch. And what was dead is the 30-point team that you bet the beginning of games. That game's going over 31.5 on the Chiefs. I believe that team and that offense to be dead. You guys have been saying, well, when Rice and Worthy are back, you will see a difference. And we have obviously seen a difference. But it is not the team that won the Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill flying down the field 50-yard plays. They do it in one drive. They require precision right now that I believe still puts them well behind the top teams in this league. But you guys are going to make me Patrick Mahomes was done. That's what you guys are going to do.
You said the team is dead. You said that team is dead.
That offense is dead.
Okay, and the entire time we're like, wait, there are guys out. And once those guys came back, as you mentioned, that's what we were warning you against because, like, the results you were taking was because they didn't have those guys.
The results you're taking after two games is to say the Chiefs are something I still don't believe them to be.
Okay, so you doubled down. Cool.
They
still think they're dead.
They've also scored the second most points in the AFC.
That's right.
Behind only the Colts.
The Chiefs have more cause to win the Super Bowl right now than they've had all season. I am beginning to believe in the Chiefs. This is a wide open season. There's no super teams. Bills have lost. Eagles have lost. The Ravens are what they are. There are no super teams. And I'm not going to trust a team that's been to the last 6 Super Bowls or whatever that crazy stat is with Mahomes.
I mean, you trusted the Dolphins a couple
about
weeks
to get
ago.
Rashee Rice back. By the way, when you say I trusted the Dolphins, I predicted them to go 9-8 and have a chance to make a wild card.
15th best team.
Don't act like I ever pushed them for the Super Bowl. Hell no.
Can you get me the Dolphin sound? I will continue to argue this with you guys for as long as you'd like to argue it, but I do want to get to what's happening with the Dolphins because it's interesting because, of course, they're seen as done again, as we could have said at 0-3. As you can say, 6 games in, there will be no bouncing back from this when you lose games like the one they lost yesterday where you get the Tua comeback. Like, this is all going to get lost in the press conference. It really is. But to beat that Chargers team and someone Zaz is saying is the greatest coach of all time, better than Belichick because he can win on any level, you got exactly what you needed at the end of that game. Those Chargers were tired in this South Florida heat. They had no pass rush left. That team was done. You finished them. Tua had the play you needed to have to Waller in the back of the end zone. The game is won. All you've got to do is make a tackle. You could choose which one you'd like to make. You can make it of Herbert or you can make it of McConkey, but all you have to do is make one tackle. And neither of you can do it because now for this season, you guys are losers. Like, you're going to be losers all season. There's no bouncing back from this. And as the flames climb, the quarterback's at the press conference saying, well, it's not me who doesn't care. It's not me who's not showing up to the meetings. The problem's with leadership, but it's not me. We had a players-only meeting, and this is what happened.
I think it starts with the leadership in helping articulate that for the guys and then what we're expecting out of the guys, right? We're expecting this. Are we getting that? Are we not getting that? We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? It's a lot of things of that nature.
To be clear, you're saying some players were late or missed?
Late, yeah.
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you mandate a players-only meeting?
Apparently
Who's in charge?
not.
Who's in charge of a players-only meeting, Dad? Who? If let's just talk this out.
Well, who's the captain of the team? Who are the captains of the team?
That's a great question.
And by default, let's say the team had no captains. Your default captain is your starting quarterback.
Zagak.
Like, I don't mind that Tua said what he said.
He's ripping himself.
He's ripping the entire
It'd be funny
culture.
if he was the one that was late.
They're supposed
Well, there were tweets of players that said, like, I was on the Dolphins for 3 minutes, which wasn't a very long time, but Tua was late to the first players-only meeting, the only one I was part of in training camp. So it seems as though we might be leading by example if we're to believe that that's a real person. But Tua's a team captain. Alec Ingold, Zach Sealer, Bradley Chubb, Aaron Brewer, and Jordan Brooks are the team captains this season for the Dolphins.
Okay.
So when he's saying that leadership is failing and then points out a players-only meeting, he would be the leadership in that situation, which is failing, which is not a good thing for him to be pointing out. And I've said before that I think he needs lie serum because he's a little bit too honest, and he's comfortable in his honesty, but it's not doing him any favors because I think that, as the season's gone on, we know this is probably going to be it for Mike McDaniel. It definitely should be it for Chris Greer. But now, anyone who was kind of a Tua defender was like, well, let's see what Tua is with new coach. And now you're like, this guy is also not working. Not that there were many people that still were saying he was working, but I don't know how you can get rid of him if you even wanted to, but it seems like they need to completely clean house.
Tua said last week, and he made news for just being like, I'm actually in a decent mindset right now because I'm not on social media. I go home, and my kids are still happy to see me. Right. I would argue that we should show his kids that interception on that last play of the game. They need to see it. They deserve to see it.
Wait, this is going to happen to Tua today. Greg, let's see where your homer is on this because this is going to happen to Tua today because it's 3 interceptions. He won the game, people. The interception's on Waddle, the first one. The third one's irrelevant. You've coughed up the game he just won for you, and he threw a pick. But also, 27 at home should be enough to beat those Chargers. 27 at home with 2 game-winning drives where the pass rush can't get near you and you're throwing to Waller in the back of the end zone. He won the game. The game was won, and then it wasn't won because you've got all the advantages at the end of the game. Make a tackle. Make a tackle. You've got the quarterback. You've got Herbert in your hands. Jalen Phillips, you're the king of almost.
It starts before they miss that tackle. It starts before Jalen Phillips missed the sack. It starts before the pass to McConkey. It starts with the special teams allowing a long kickoff return. Okay, here you're facing a Chargers place kicker who's got all kind of length on his game. He can kick a 60-yard field goal. And you're giving up a kickoff return past the 40-yard line. They did everything wrong. The special teams lost that game. The defense lost that game. Tua, I'm glad you mentioned that. Tua, on what should have been the heroic game-winning drive, did everything right. He was as good as I've seen him on that drive. He was 8 for 8 for 57 yards. He gave them a lead with 46 seconds
with
left.
a very limited offense against a very good defense that was gutted. It was gassed.
Right. If the special teams and the defense finish that game, we're having a whole different conversation about Tua right now, and he doesn't say what he says in the post-game
I'll go a
press
step
conference.
further. I'll go a step further than that. If the apocalypse that somehow never happens in that sport, and I don't get why this never happens, Dicker is insane, okay? The stat that he's 100 from he is 100 of 106, and 5 of the misses are from 50 plus. That snap was terrible to win the game, like terrible. What the holder did, and I don't even know who the holder is, was rescued the game. Like that's as bad a snap as you will ever see and no one remembers it. And if that snap had been botched, none of this comes to the surface. We never see any of it. The game's over right there, and Tua did win the game.
Yeah, and he's the hero today. All of a sudden we're saying, you know what? Tua's 3-1 head-to-head now with Justin Herbert. Who is better? And
I don't know how that holder got it down.
Yeah, it was high and inside.
Well, this is 2 weeks in a row that Tua's had a game-winning drive that didn't actually win the game because then the defense came and immediately gave up the lead.
Yes.
I also don't understand, though, Tua's complaints and the thing. I don't know what a players-only meeting would have done to, teach them to tackle on the last drive that would have won them that game.
But it does sound like it speaks to a larger issue, which was kind of hovering around this team over the offseason, which was reshaping the culture.
Right.
Now, Tyreek Hill is away from the team because he's injured. You still have this culture problem. I think you guys did a really great job at framing that this is not all Tua's fault. Tua had some moments. That is a disastrous clip from your leader, from your quarterback. I don't know what's worse, the fact that he's putting that business out there or the fact that it actually happened. I don't know if that feels like a last resort leadership move
you guys,
to snitch on people that way.
Oh, but it's not even that, though. Like, this is the apocalypse, right? They could have denied, like, Cote for 4 or 5 games. Oh, well, we're still in it. It was almost against Carolina. We look good against the Jets, whatever the arguments would be on behalf of the structure of this thing that is clearly dying, right? Like we've been saying for a month, it's all over. This is the longest tenure a GM has ever had without a playoff game. There's no playoff win. Without a playoff win, there's not a GM in the league who has had more time and done less with playoff victories than Chris Greer. So, worst in the league when you're talking about spending like $900 million in free agents, 21 first and second round picks. And what you have to show for it, a player like Jalen Phillips could have won the game for you. And now the flames are climbing so high on everyone that Tua got his money, but he's got no protection on his career anymore. Like, these two people are clearly gone, and he gave you the game-winning drive. Like, we don't have a lot of those to remember. We don't have any against winning teams. Like, the reason this thing is broken, they can't beat anyone good. They're like 1-15 the last 16 games against teams with a winning record.
Yeah, I think the exact stat is he's now 3-16 on a 3-16 skid against teams.
That's not a
winning
skid.
records.
That's a resume.
Yeah, that's
who you are.
That's not even a trend. That's who you are. Yeah.
That is not a skid. You can't beat good teams at the end. We know we're getting that interception, and we know to fear Herbert those last 50 seconds. We know to fear Herbert those last 50 seconds. Why do we know that? He doesn't have a bunch of playoff victories.
He's got none.
I would argue we don't know we're getting that interception at the end. I have never seen the play where there's no timeouts left and you have to go the full length of the field to get a touchdown. Usually you just throw it and then it's just a bunch of laterals. He intercepted the easy pass. I've never seen that pass intercepted before.
The defense usually concedes. All right, there's got to be some silliness here.
There's just one linebacker there. Like, I'm going to go stand near the guy they're going to throw to. And he just throws it right to the linebacker.
Yeah, we're going to establish that you can catch this easy one, and then you do your circus play.
9 guys down the field.
That's a great point by Chris.
Never seen that.
You never see that.
The Chargers,
the pick six?
The prevent pick, you don't see it.
But the Chargers did go to the huddle before that play, and they just all go, "Hi, Jinx," right? Like,
right. We're gonna do the thing.
And the one guy's like, I'm gonna go cover the guy. Don't worry about me. And then he almost pick six it.
But we
don't over pursue.
In Tua's meager defense, how many
There's
of
been
those?
a lot of meager Tua defense.
Okay,
here.
this is a meager one. Of those 1-16 against winning teams, how many game-winning drives has he almost had? Right? Because it feels like there's been a lot of almost game-winning drives. He leads the league in almost game-winning drives. And then the defense lets it up, and you're like, oh, Tua had the moment. He has 7 of those, and then it's just not there.
I love Jalen Phillips. I love his story. He's such a nice man.
How do you miss that?
Right now in sports, to me, locally, he's almost gotten 14 sacks this year. He's almost
Look at this.
caused
That's a gain of 40 yards right there.
The only problem with that is that I don't think that people realize that Justin Herbert is kind of bigger than
he's a gigantic.
He's almost bigger than Jalen Phillips.
Yeah. Justin Herbert is.
I don't think people know that. I think they just see Jalen Phillips miss tackle and they don't understand that Herbert's bigger than Jalen Phillips. Isn't Herbert like 6'6", 260?
He's a giant person.
Tua has
Might be
never
245,
and will never make that play. Mm-hmm. Right? Like it's that simple, right? the entire conversation can be distilled down to this, which is that Justin Herbert is physically capable and mentally capable of switching hands with that football, avoiding the sack, making the throw that leads to the huge gain to win.
To a guy named Lad McConkey.
And we can say
that guy's
all
good.
we want.
He's good.
Hey,
Good.
that
He
guy's got a
shouldn't-
shot.
He's really good.
He shouldn't be that
He's
good.
got a shot at white
Shouldn't have
history.
that name.
He shouldn't be good with that name. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. In games of violence, do you ever fear someone named Lad McConkey?
How is a
Great name.
Lad McConkey fast?
He should be the mayor of Key West.
That's another. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should Lad McConkey be the name of the mayor of Key West? It doesn't make sense. I mean, they target him 10 times a game. Like, I'd prefer to throw the ball to Keenan Allen, but it's because, you guys do realize how insane that juke was, right? You guys realize that there aren't that many players in the league who could actually break free in the open field when all the DBs in that huddle have been told, hey, hijinks.
Yeah. Prevent pick. You never see it. I want to talk about Stephen Ross's reaction on the field because he knows that the cameras are fixated on him, and he almost played up his frustration there. The guy went down on the field to celebrate.
That's the part.
A season-saving victory, and it all unfolded in front of his eyes the way that most people at home thought it would. Most Dolphin fans in that stadium, I kind of felt like knew that was going to happen. And he was visibly frustrated. This image captures it. But after he walked off, he was playing up the fact that he was really pissed
Guys,
off.
just so you understand that these are human beings, no matter how rich they are. This is the end of his life and career in business and sports. Like his window is what Jerry Jones's window is, and he does care about winning. He doesn't want to be this 25-year embarrassment. I replaced Robbie Huizenga-Shula, and this is an unholy mess on my watch. I'm making tons and tons of money. It's been a great business deal, but most people think I don't care, don't know what I'm doing. I always hire clowns. They always embarrass me. That yesterday, in every way, was an apocalypse that comes after the 4 before it for people who care, don't want to be embarrassment. Mike McDaniel will rebound somewhere as an offensive coordinator, but he doesn't want to be known as somebody who can't handle this job. Tua doesn't want to be known as someone who was gifted $250 million by a coach who made him a marionette who can play and lead the league in passing back when we believed the Dolphins were good. Now the whole thing is falling apart, like in a way that's super obvious and super embarrassing. And your quarterback in the press conference says, not me. It's leadership. Like, that can mean anything.
Well, he's one of the leaders.
No, but it's not. He's one of
Baffling.
the leaders. Like, you can't say it's a players-only meeting and it's leadership. And when you said leadership the first time, we thought you were going to take out your coach.
Leaders don't look around for other leaders. Yeah. He's not the leader that the team named him to be if he's around a microphone openly questioning leadership.
Team's missing Tyreek Hill. When he was a captain, a lot of this stuff wasn't going on, to be
That's
honest.
funny.
That's why we said before, hey, if he was a real leader, he wouldn't be a captain this year. And look, not a captain. And as soon as he's out of there, everything seems to be falling apart.
I think I'm the only one here, apparently, who does not blame and, in fact, credits Tua for speaking out like he did. It was the frustration speaking. If his team doesn't blow that win that he had earned with an 8-for-8 drive, he's not saying any of that in the postgame. That was frustration speaking. And if he's right, if there were teammates who were late for the players-only meeting and just blew it off and missed that meeting, why shouldn't they be called out? Why shouldn't the player who missed that meeting be angry right now because he's looking in the mirror going, you're right, I did miss that meeting. Should have been there.
But do you think that now those players, after Tua has publicly called them out, are like, you know what, I need to prove something to Tua? Because, like, Tua took out both the leadership, so we're thinking maybe coaching staff, maybe, front office, whatever. He took out them, and he took out the players. So he's really kind of taking everyone out but himself when he's having that conversation. And you're saying, had they not blown that lead, he probably wouldn't have said that? Yeah, he probably wouldn't have, which is why it looks even more like an excuse.
It's desperation. That's all it is. They're 1-5. They're going nowhere. They just had a heartbreaking. Think of the last 2 games. They blow a 17-0 lead against bad Carolina.
Who Dan ended their season after a victory.
It's still over.
Even though they have
3-3.
back-to-back.
It's still over. Did you see what Baker did? They can't win that division. There's not a circumstance under which they'll win that division. If they don't win that division, their season's over.
Rattler looks good too.
And on the tour front,
love
too,
you.
like, I mean, not that anyone would because they're all professionals, but, like, once you start calling out your teammates, then all of a sudden I miss a block. You know what I mean? And then, like, he could easily get drilled because he pisses off the wrong person, and then we're back in concussion territory. Like, I don't really understand what he gains from what he did.
Well, if I can, what I would say to you is when you're asking a leader to be a leader in the hardest of positions, which is it's everyone for themselves now. Who's to blame for this? Everyone's going. Everyone's embarrassed. Everyone's laughing at us. Who's to blame? Generally in these spots, the quarterback just eats it. Toughs his way through the headlines of, I'll lie to your face, my protection has to be of my players. But this is why this is happening. I'm just going to read this to you because these are stats for why all of this is happening. The Dolphins are now 1-15 in their last 16 games against teams with winning records. Mike McDaniel is 11-18 in his past 29 games. Tua, like Billy said, 6-17 all time in the 23 games against teams with winning records. The Dolphins haven't topped 30 points in any of their past 13 Tua games against winning teams. They're 2-11 in those games. So that's one set of stats. Now here's the other. The Dolphins were 19-5 coming into this season when scoring 3 touchdowns in the McDaniel era. They're now 1-4 this season when scoring 3 touchdowns. They need to score 4 touchdowns a game and be the best team of all time to beat Lamar Jackson in Baltimore and win a game on a miracle, because unless they have the best offense in the league, the whole thing is broken. Like, none of it works. You don't have value at quarterback anymore. You don't have the fast wide receiver anymore. You're going to use up Waddle and whatever's left of Waller, so the whole thing's broken if you're not a perfect offense. It's because the defense will allow any running back in the world to have 200 yards. Like, any running back in the world you can put back there. I bet on the wrong one yesterday, knowing the Chargers were going to have 200 yards. I thought Haddock was the starter. I didn't
Haskins.
know. Whatever.
Looking at Tua as the leader, it's crazy to think that ultimately he just said a couple weeks ago that he drinks water to prevent concussions, and that's the third worst thing that he said in the last 2 weeks. But speaking of bad things said, Chris, we have anything with Dan on the Chiefs?
They have ruined the entertainment value of Patrick Mahomes. Ruined it. But he is a dink and dunk quarterback. I'm watching a quarterback who looks like all the other quarterbacks. That team's dead.
Wow. Back to life. Back to life.
Asinine stuff from Dan to start the show.
You're going to force this car on Nick Wright that he doesn't even know that he's winning, which wasn't the bet. And
That's hilarious, actually.
I'm wondering what it's going to cost Nick Wright to pay for parking for that car in New York for the entire.
That's why it's such a great joke. That's why I want to give him the car without the transmission. The bet was a white Corvette. That was the bet.
Yeah.
No, factually inaccurate. No.
We agreed to
wasn't.
that after he left.
Yes.
But said at the same show. I'm with you, Dan.
Yeah, we can. That's funny, but like, just between us, so well, you're changing the bet.
But I'm unlikely. I'm unlikely to save money here. Like shipping a white Corvette to him if it's Greg Cody's, which I thought was the bet.
I mean, I would be so pissed if I were Nick Wright.
What do you
so
mean?
pissed. Because I have $5,000 coming my way. Not a car that becomes a problem.
He'll get the joke. I think he'll laugh.
It's a great joke.
It's a great joke.
It's a great joke.
And it'll cost me more than $5,000 to send the car without a transmission, to ship it to him from where was it that you found it? In Ohio, Billy? Where'd you find it?
In Illinois, I believe.
That's not going to be cheap. Like, that's all going to be worth more than $5,000.
I'm sure when he hears that, he'll be like, okay. Then that's fine because it does cost him more than $5,000.
I'm giving him more value than $5,000 to get that sentimental white Corvette because Cody and Cody's mean so much to him.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to find my original Corvette.
It wasn't even sentimental to Greg. He hated it.
This is sentimental value to this thing.
This is good PR, though. Awful announcing will be like, Greg Cody sends Nick Wright a white Corvette.
The reason everything in my head, you guys experienced a different thing than I did with that
It's
bet.
a common theme from this segment.
I asked Nick Wright something about why he's such a good gift giver. and he said he had gotten his father for his 75th birthday a beautiful old car that had all the thoughtful details in it. And then we started talking about Greg and the white Corvette, and that's how we landed on Nick Wright's coming on. What's the bet on the game? A white Corvette that we didn't think we could get. And then he's like, well, then just make it $5,000 if you're bored and have no creativity.
No, I don't think that's how it
That's
happened.
how I remember it.
That's how he remembers it.
It was like, let's get some action. And you're like, I'll do some action. And he's like, $5,000. And then you were just like, fine.
Yeah.
But
I'll give you points.
But where'd the white
Yeah,
Corvette?
then you said, I'll give you points.
So the
white Corvette came up after where we're like, hey, that would be a really funny joke. Too bad he didn't agree to that.
The white Corvette came up before because Greg was complaining before the show about the white Corvette. Then we were trying to get Erlene on.
The segment started with him deciding that we should start the segment talking about whether or not Greg, he chose. I had the clumsy beginning where I'm telling him, what are you first? An old-timey radio guy, right? And so I was asking him to make a content decision on should we go to Erlene on a bad line
And he said yes.
talk about this white Corvette. And so in my head, I thought we were betting a white Corvette. That's why I was asking Erlene this week, and what's the VIN number on the old car so I can get him that white Corvette.
She didn't tell me that. When are you calling my wife about a VIN number? How does that work?
What else are you talking about?
Seriously.
I asked your son as well. I'm trying to get.
Wow.
I know nothing about any of that.
I woke up this morning knowing, grateful for a brawl that distracted people, and knowing I hated this, that I owed Nick Wright $5,000. And the way I'm going to pay it is with a white Corvette, whether he wants it or not. And I hope it doesn't have a transmission, because I could say legally, rationally, that I paid my debt.
I don't know about that. I think when you bet somebody $5,000, it's pretty much a cash bet.
What's pretty much mean? And Dan's taking that pretty much. He's taking that little leeway.
That's it. I am to send him something that's going to cost me more than $5,000.
It's a nice rationalization there.
What year would you guesstimate your Corvette was, the white one?
I asked my mom this. I believe she was a little unsure, but it was either 98 or 99.
Erlene said we were looking for a 2000 VIN number, and that we're still looking for it, because that is the sentimental Corvette I will take and send him if I can. But if I can't, then I'll be obligated to just send him the bad one, because it's the only one I've got left.
You know what else you could do is send him $5,000 in pennies.
The only person who
That's funny.
That's funny. The only person who may have sentiment about this Corvette is the current owner of said Corvette, because Greg didn't have sentiment towards it. It means absolutely nothing to Nick Wright. You seem to really have some sentiments about this Corvette for whatever reason.
It's a good gift. It's a good
It is a
gift to
good
give.
gift.
You can't dispute that it's a good
The
gift.
audience would like it.
Yeah, I
think
should
it's
have
funny.
appreciated it more than I did.
Well, but and we could go double or nothing here with a number of really high
For two
stakes.
Corvettes.
We could we can make this bet be more and more dangerous all the way up until the Super Bowl, where I will continue to question whether Patrick Mahomes can be the offense he was with Tyreek Hill. That team's dead. You guys like the last two games, and I'd understand why it is you would say it's more representative of what this Chiefs team is than the last 18 games of dink and dunk that they gave us. But when they get hurt again, inevitably, because that sport hurts,
This is spectacular from you, man.
I'm going to win.
The rare denial and doubling down within the same segment.
I'm going to win the bet because
Just
I'm not
banking on injuries.
Look, I saw the
to prove our point, by the way,
I-
which was always it's the injuries. Dan.
I saw the Packers offense look awfully good against that Detroit team on the road.
I mean,
that
listening
Detroit
to you
team,
talk is
the Detroit
hilarious,
team
man.
on the road.
Okay.
I'm going to end up being right here.
They're going to get hurt again.
About
thus
what?
proving
I'm
your
gonna be
theory.
right.
Which bet the Packers
What are
up?
you
What do the
right
Packers have to
about?
do with anything?
You said you didn't say it. Now you're going to be right.
The cheapest Corvette I see from the year 2000 is $13,000. So this fun game of yours is getting more pricey.
That's fine.
Dan, I found a lot of personal growth in admitting when I'm wrong.
No one does it more than Mike.
No one.
I will not admit I'm wrong after two games.
You know what you're doing? You're obsessing on the fact that they can't be the same offense they were when Tyreek was flying down the field in his prime.
They can't be the big play offense
Okay,
that
so
they
what?
were.
said they were dead.
They
They
can
also
still
won-
be a winning offense.
They won
That
2
team's
Super
dead.
Bowls since he left.
They got a great coach. They got a really good underrated defense. They can win a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill.
So this is what you guys are doing now. I just want to be clear on this.
What are we doing?
I want to be clear on this. I believe that if I take the field right now, I'm going to look really better than everyone in this room making the argument on behalf of
this
the
is
Chiefs.
coming from the maker that changed a $5,000 bet to a white Corvette. Yeah, go ahead and play with the rules. In this 18-game stretch, by the way, they made it to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're really, really good at the precision of working around their limitations. They've had a great many limitations, and twice they've gotten to the Super Bowl and had those limitations exposed, once because the offensive line didn't work. You have not heard me say that Patrick Mahomes has been made a lesser quarterback by anything other than everything that's happened over the last 18 games.
I also heard
right?
you not agree with us as we warned you, Dan, that's the issue, and you kept pushing and said, quote, this team is dead.
That team's dead. Yeah, that part hurts me. I meant the offense.
Ouch. I also have
it's
details.
The same thing, really.
That's the point we were making.
Our group in the other room, by
well,
the way, said that Dan and Nick agreed to a $5,000 bet, and then Dan said, want to throw in a Corvette? And then Nick just laughed in your face. So no.
What do you mean he laughed in my face? So
he laughed, and then Mike suggested a host swap, and neither of you agreed to that. So the only thing agreed on is $5,000.
Yeah, but the laughter is tacit approval.
I'm being told we have a 1-minute replay of it if we'd like to watch it and then dissect it. All right, let's hit it,
Gotta
guys.
go on that note. You think a lot of people think that right now? You think that a
They're
lot
2.5-point favorites, Dan. They're at home. They have the best player in the league. Right now, Dano. How about this? Just Chiefs-Lions, straight up. Set the amount. I can do it in a little arbitrage with your friends at DraftKings. I'll bet it on the other side plus the 2.5. Look for a little juicy middle.
All right, let's
What do you
do
wanna
it.
do?
Let's do it right now. Tell me what the stakes are on this. Make the bet right now. Let's do it. Let's team up right here. We're going to tell me how I have to do that so that I can make the stakes something that's worth it to you. I believe that Detroit is going to beat Kansas City.
They're all putting up 5, so 5 grand.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
$5,000.
I get the Chiefs even. It just straight winner.
Yes.
Chiefs Lions.
Yes. I'll give you the points.
No.
Dan, you're terrible at this.
You're such a bad negotiator.
All right. What's going on?
I don't get points. They're the favorites. We're just doing straight winners.
Straight winners, 5K.
Yes.
All right. It's done.
You want to throw in a white Corvette? Yeah, I thought the white Corvette was the bet.
Yeah, I think he approved when he smiled.
I remember that being after he was gone. So in
But it
Dan's
can be
defense,
5,000 and the white Corvette. I thought I thought we were making the white Corvette bet. I thought that's what we were doing.
is a laugh is laughter accepting a bet?
So now
Acid
you owe him a
laughter.
car and $5,000.
Yeah,
It seems
damn.
like that video.
Can we have
proved.
bonuses instead?
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Those stats that I gave earlier on the Dolphins, the 1-in-15 stat, which is a damning one, last 16 games against winning teams. That's you're going winless if you're playing all the a season's worth of winless. Every time you play one of the good teams, that would suggest that no matter what you think the quarterback is with or without Tyreek Hill, it isn't enough. The whole thing's broken. It's broken down. They had to be perfect in order to tease us, and they are really imperfect, defensively and offensively. The other stat came from Alfredo Arteaga, that they were the 3 touchdown stats, which is if they're not getting, they don't have a way to win a game other than to have the game be something where they scored 27 points or play the Jets.
Well, but the last 2 games are a prime example of the offense is good enough if the defense weren't horrible. Like if they had an average defense, they win the last 2 games. And it's the defense. Let's not mistake it. It's the defense that is the real problem for this team.
Well, Greg, we knew that going in. Like, their pass rushers were going to be okay. Linebackers were going to be probably sub-average, and then we know they had no secondary outside of Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Right.
And now it's a surprise when guys are missing open field tackles and Ladd McConkey when he sticks a foot in the ground and goes 40 yards. Like, we knew this was going to be the test the entire time was the secondary. The defense is historically bad if it weren't for the Ravens, who are historically worse.
And that's the epitaph for Chris Greer right now, is that he allowed them to go a whole offseason and start a season with those starting cornerbacks. He allowed that. He let it happen.
It's all over, and I think that's what you feel here, and we've been saying it all season, and now Greg Cote is officially off the bandwagon, forevermore, fire everybody.
Beginning last week, not yesterday.
Okay. The thing that I wanted to ask you, speaking of firings, how many coaches are there in college football that will make their way into your Sunday, into your professional football Sunday with the news of everything stops, James Franklin has been fired? Oh, look, minor league professional football just fired one of the real big guys with tenure who got that job. I think I have this right, because he made Vanderbilt win when nobody could make Vanderbilt win, and so he got 12 Paterno handed off one of the mythical franchises to Bill O'Brien, and then James Franklin gets a great run, so great, without winning anything for 12 years, that how many coaches in college football would break into professional football yesterday with the news of everybody be like, oh, one of the big ones went down in minor professional football?
Like 10 programs, I think, right around there.
What are the names that you would put ahead of James Franklin yesterday because of an in-season firing where we now know that the stakes are, hey, if you're at one of the big schools now that conference is getting $2 billion, now that conference is about to get private equity $2 billion, if you lose early in the season and we expected you to win under these conditions, you play a very close, good game at home against Oregon that makes it look at the time like you're still going to have a job if you win that in overtime. Maybe at the time everyone's fine with you. You finally won a big game. Then you go to UCLA, which is the most glaring example we have in the entire sport this year that it matters how your team is coached, because UCLA with Deshaun Foster was 0-4. They fired him, and now they kicked the holy hell out of Michigan State, which is in the conference that just got the $2 billion. So James Franklin, 12 years ain't what we get around here anymore. You then lose to Northwestern, you lose to Greeny School, you're out. That's the last one. It's the last straw. We'll take 12 years of this bullshit. But
Greeny School.
Once you learn to know, no, everybody knows that.
It does make it sound worse.
Over Wilbon School?
Once you lose to Northwestern, that was the nail in the Franklin coffin. Like, he could have survived it if he had won that game. Once you lose to the nerds, once you lose to the books, they're the ones who tried to unionize. Once you lose to the books, nope. Get out of here. We're taking $2 billion, and we're not losing to Northwestern when we're Penn State.
Yeah, but he made the playoffs last year, right? Like, there's no reasonableness in college football anymore. It's this is exacerbated by the whole NIL portal thing. You have to win now. If you have a disappointing season, it doesn't matter what you did a year ago. You start off 3-3, that's a felonious crime.
He didn't just make the playoffs. This isn't Boise State. He was vying last year at the end of the season for, they're about a half away from playing for the championship.
Yeah, they were in full control of that Orange Bowl until a corner slipped and fell, and Greathouse takes it to the house, and all of a sudden you're wondering, how the hell is Notre Dame even in this game? James Franklin won 2 playoff games last year. And granted, it was against SMU and Boise, but he won 2.
Yeah, and yet he can't survive a 3-3 start. I think it's a little bit unfair, premature at least.
Oh, I just think it's what it is now. Like, this is, if you professionalize it this much, yep, oh, no one's going to be safe when only 10 are worth it anyway. Like only 10 break into programming. Like that's not. I think Mike's high there. Like I don't think if DeBoer gets fired, anybody cares. Like I know they care regionally, but not in the middle of your in the middle of your.
Alabama fires its head coach is creeping into your Sunday.
Maybe. I'm not saying creeping into your Sunday. I'm saying everything stops with the plastered headline on ESPN.com of it's not about any of the football games. Like it's not about the worst Jets performance to fall in 0-6 that can cover the morning. It's not about any of the 5 games in the 1 o'clock window that were 1-score games that all had drama. No, right in the middle of it is holy shit, James Franklin has been fired. I really don't think that there are many coaches who have the tenure or the name at a school now in the wild, wild west of that's the most professional football now. Now it's even more professional than professional football. If you're going to bring $2 billion to that conference and say, James Franklin, you could be fired in 3 games. 3 bad games, we'll forget what you did 3 games ago. That's crazy.
He's got the best job in football, though, no. Yeah. He's fired coach, $50 million coming his way. I don't ever want to see James Franklin again.
This is one of my favorite games.
For his mental health.
One of my favorite games.
I don't want to see him ever again.
Where's he going on
vacation?
vacation?
Go buy a house in the Keys. Go get a contender in the back. Go fishing. Go meet Jimmy somewhere. I don't ever want to see James Franklin again. Don't show up at Wichita State playing. Don't do that.
I don't think this
Get out of here.
I don't think this is a Jimbo situation. I think there are a lot of programs, a lot of good programs. You'd be shocked at the places I think James Franklin can kill it. Because one thing that he's shown is that he is a program builder. And there are some places in this country that desperately need someone like that, schools that have been trying to scheme their way when they have no business doing that. You give James Franklin the resources of a Florida or an FSU, he raises the floor immediately. I don't think he's going to be out of work for a very long time.
Agreed.
I really don't.
I agree. And by the way, you mentioned DeBoer. This guy is having the last laugh right now, okay? Everybody in this building was burying him when they lost the opener to FSU. End of an era. He's out of here. Bring back Nick. He's won.
Greg,
they're 5-1 now
Greg,
with 3 wins against ranked teams.
This is the only place I'll stop you, okay? So, guys, I don't know if you paid any attention to the ESPN rankings because they're funny. They're legitimately funny.
Crooked FPI.
I mean, no, wait a minute. It's funny, but also funny in a pretty great way because, yeah, I can make an argument Notre Dame's one of the top 5 teams. I really could. They lost 2 games on the road against 2 teams I think to be good. But to have Notre Dame ahead of Texas A&M and Miami, it's funny. I'll read some of these. No, Tone.
Wait, what?
Tone. I will read some of these rankings to you guys in a second. But when Greg overreacts to Alabama ain't Alabama anymore. Missouri hasn't beaten Alabama since 1976 and could have very easily won that game if Alabama doesn't make 2 4th-down plays late that were great because all of a sudden Eli Drinkwitz is in the game.
He's been in the game. He's like a top 10 in salary.
But I'm
Missouri's
saying,
good.
Yes, of course Missouri's good. But what I'm saying is the SEC, the top of the SEC, they're all the same except, of course, Arch Manning might figure some things out over the next 6 games that shows you that Texas has better athletes than everybody else in that conference. But Miami's being penalized. You guys want to guess? You want to guess the ESPN? I thought this was a joke. The rankings, the FPI rankings. Do you guys want to guess what the top 5 is now? Anybody?
No, must be ludicrous.
Well, he was at North Carolina last week. Yeah. I think Notre Dame is in the top 5, given what you said. A&M deserves to be. A&M's.
No, A&M is not.
That's crazy.
Listen to what this top 8. I thought this was a joke. Please check it for me. Maybe it is a joke. Like I may be fooled by the internet here because of how little sense the ESPN ranking FPI football power index rankings were. Because I'm like, this can't be real. Oh, I see what they're doing here, but this can't be real.
Who is this for? Like, what are these FPI rankings for? Who checks these?
I think it's computerized.
But they're irrelevant.
Yeah. Isn't it based heavily on strength of schedule?
I was out on this as a metric when, conveniently, a week before the season, the FPI shifted on everybody without games to pull data from.
So this is I'm looking at this. I don't know how computer generated this is, but Florida State is still 25, which does not make sense to me after they lose at Pittsburgh. And given that I can actually make an argument for these rankings, I can contort myself. the way I did with the Chiefs, to make an argument on these rankings based on strength of schedule. But your premise has to be that Florida and Florida State aren't any good and that Miami hasn't beaten anybody. That USF isn't any good. So the number one team is Ohio State. Ohio State is amazing for a number of different reasons. One of them, skinny Matt Patricia's pretty good. They're good on goal line situations in a way that's crazy. And they haven't allowed a rushing touchdown. I saw the stat during the game in 184 rushing attempts. Like, they've allowed no first half touchdowns. So Ohio State is number one. Number two is Indiana. Indiana, that was amazing to watch. Oregon get dragged late.
Great game.
Just get dragged late in that game.
By the way, a quick aside for Indiana. Dan, I think we got one. We've been waiting. Okay, we've been praying. We've been hoping that one day we could see a Cuban kid be a quarterback. Dano, we got one. He might be the number one overall pick, Dan.
Indiana was super impressive in the second half of that game. So you want to put them number two. When Oregon hadn't lost a game at home in 23 games and had like 18 games. No, was it 23 straight regular season games and hadn't lost a game at home in 18 games?
So FPI is a ranking that projects how the future will play out. Yeah. So it's not currently what's going on, why you have some teams. This is how they think things will end in the future.
So Alabama's number 3. Notre Dame is number 4. Oregon is number 5. Georgia is 6. Texas is 7. Miami is 8.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Well, you just got Miami below 2 teams. I mean, Notre Dame, you've got Miami and Texas A&M below Notre Dame when Notre Dame lost to both of them. And the argument would be it was on the road. Both games were on the road, and both games were close. And if you could make an argument for Notre Dame being one of the 5 best teams in the sport. You could, based on what you've seen.
You could. It's kind of ridiculous to make an argument that they should be ranked ahead of Miami in any metric, especially when what Billy said is if it's projecting, then what am I to do with the best odds across all of sports betting for a team to go undefeated in that sport belongs to the Miami Hurricanes, in part because of their schedule softening as the season progresses.
Yeah, they're going to be favored in every remaining game. But I think it's unfair to say they haven't played anybody. You can only play who you're scheduled to beat, and they have beaten 3 ranked teams at the time.
It's patently absurd to say that because their strength of record is good. They beat Notre Dame. They beat USF so badly that people don't even know what to do with that result.
EPA is a huge part of this, so expected points added on special teams, offense, and defense, and it's supposed to be sort of predictive from where that's gone. So just in terms of a metric, it's supposed to be based off of what your EPA is in all 3 of those aspects against the teams you've played. And when you look at where those rankings are in FPI, based off of what those losses are for FSU and UF, both of those teams losing to those teams is essentially looking like beating them as well. It's essentially even.
It's all manipulated. I told you. They changed the FPI rankings a week before the season.
But EPA is like a stat that's quantifiable.
No, I got EPA, but just line up, play the games. This is stupid.
I want to talk about some of the professional football games that were played, although the Jets did not play one of those. Like, that is as bad a passing performance as you can possibly see in the modern age non-weather division. But the game yesterday, and I don't know which one you guys want to talk about as the most important. The Chiefs' schedule is about to get easy. They've had a hard schedule. I'm going to end up eating a lot of Corvettes as soon as Rashee Rice gets back.
If you would have won that bet instead of losing it, would you have expected a Corvette here?
Good question.
I hadn't thought that one through.
Do you think Nick was like, "How do I find a Corvette?"
Well, no, but I thought part of the beauty of it was that we were going to get the Corvette that Greg didn't like, that she couldn't paint because it was a lease. She couldn't paint it a different color, and he never told her he wanted a different color. So I thought if we got that car, the reason I was asking Erlene and Chris is if I lost the bet or if I won the bet, whether or not we'd give that car to Greg as a gift again. That
you didn't answer the question. If you lost, though, or won, I guess, because this is a rare occasion where winning means losing, and Nick Wright tried to send you a car, despite not verbally confirming that was indeed the bet, you would have been mad, yeah?
No, I would have thought it's funny.
You wanted $5K in your fat wallet. That's what you wanted.
No, it doesn't. No.
Come on.
Nick, I believe that Nick bets that amount all the time. I never do. Like, I never bet that amount. I believe Nick lives in that space where he's perpetually betting that amount with everybody on everything. That's not a big amount of money to Nick, I don't think.
Yeah, but
He's good for it.
I've seen the poker stakes he plays. I think
he doesn't bet cars, though, usually.
Yeah. Pink slips, buddy.
And we don't have any evidence that he bet a car here, but we're just running with it.
Can you just do me a favor, all right? Do me the favor, independent of me. Just text Nick Wright and find out, just ask him if he thinks we have bet a car. If he thinks we have bet a Corvette, yes or no. Because I believe his idea, in fact, I think I've got this right. I believe it was his idea to get the VIN number of Erlene's car. I believe it was his idea to me.
Was that a private conversation?
May have been, yeah. It may have been. I'm now running all of these things together as I'm trying to figure out two things. I'm trying to figure out how it is that I thought I woke up this morning owing him a Corvette, and that didn't feel very good, even though it was funny. And I also thought, how did I get myself in this predicament? I don't feel this strongly about however it is that the Chiefs are going to do the remainder of this season.
I want to break this microphone in half.
Come on. That team's dead.
And now you're counting on injuries, which proved our original point, to make you somehow right. This is crazy.
Well, this is what I want to be at this point. Yes, it's not crazy. It's the worst incarnations of me badly wanting to be right. And if I still had to bet the field with him, I would be willing to make that bet a bet that's got much larger stakes than it presently has.
Dan, I'm willing to make you feel a little better by playing sound of Tony agreeing with you.
Dan's 100% right.
They almost three-peated last season.
That doesn't matter, but they did it in a different way. They changed the offense completely. They got rid of Tyreek Hill. They went to a dink and dunk. They had two high safeties. They couldn't go deep.
You know
it's been
this.
dead for a while.
I mean,
it's been dead for like 3 years.
3 years, Tony said.
Tony, you get out of here.
Now you owe Nick Wright a car also.
I have reached out to Nick Wright. He has texted me back. If we are clear, he is offering to join the show and explain this. He does concede that it got a little complicated. He can join us around 10:15.
Okay, thank you. Andy's going to let's figure out how to make these season-long stakes. Let's figure out.
Okay, that's bad. That's bullshit. Like, no matter what the stakes are, car or not, you're not getting to extend this. Now, he may extend you.
I'm telling you, I owe him this. I'm not trying to get out of the bet. I owe him this. I'm asking
What do you think you owe him?
I owe him a white Corvette.
And $5,000.
No.
Your little smirk ain't fooling us.
What does Tony owe?
You know what you're doing.
I owe... what do you mean I know what
You
I'm
can't
doing?
even hide the smile from your face.
Because it's funny. This ends up being funny if I'm sending him if I'm either buying Greg the original Corvette he did not want back.
I would like it.
Or Billy's idea, which is the best of them, of course.
What was my idea?
You're the one who found the white
Pennies?
Corvette.
Oh.
The white Corvette. You're the one who found it without. You told me later it didn't have a transmission. You said You said it was $3,300.
Yeah, $3,900.
So how do you end up there? How do you remember how?
I just got curious what a white Corvette would cost if you were to buy a used one. What the cheapest one would be.
I like my dad's idea, $5K in pennies.
One thing is clear. Tony's an idiot.
Tony, there's a way for you to maneuver here to have a new white Corvette. I don't know how.
How does
there's a
Tony end up
50 trade.
with
No,
that car?
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it, but yes.
Do you ride with me?
100%. By the way, I got a guy that can fix it. So if you want to send me over the transmission, I got a guy.
Do you want to ride shotgun with me?
Yes.
Let's see who we got. The Chiefs, the Chiefs of the field the rest of the season. Let's kick up the stakes. Let's kick them up.
500,000 pennies.
Hampton Farms fan of the week because we sent him peanuts already. We're paying him peanuts. We've already sent him a box of peanuts. That's where I started the bidding. Now send him an old Corvette. Let's see where we end up with this by the Super Bowl when he's still betting on the Chiefs and I'm on the other side of this. The Hampton Farms Nuttiest Fan of the Week is who this week?
We have nominees, Dan. The Nuttiest Fan brought to you by Hampton Farms. Get nutty with Hampton Farms, the official peanut of bowl season. Vote for your favorite Nutty Fan at Le Batard Show on Instagram. And be sure to keep an eye out for Lucy at Iowa if you think you are your team's Nuttiest Fan. The first nominee we have here, Colorado wins a big game at home against Iowa State. And then they rush the field. And there's a fan here that almost gets crushed by the field goal post. That is nutty. You think it's funny?
That hurts.
You think it's funny, but then he's like, guys, seriously, get this off me. But they got it off him. No one was hurt. That's a nutty fan, if you ask me.
And bad judgment by us.
Gotta hit the gym on him.
What do you mean? If that's not nutty fan behavior, I don't know what is. And now,
Agreed.
The other nominee, we have Oklahoma State fans who, at some point during the game, one guy takes his shirt off, starts whipping it around, and then people followed. Next thing you know, they had an entire section of shirtless dudes just being a bunch of bros waving their shirts around. I mean, Dan, that's nutty.
As they lost by 30 at home to Houston.
There was plenty of space in the bleachers, open space there for them to fill.
So it's a Chiefs Super Bowl bet now. I mean,
which would make him right, by the way, more than right if they make it to the Super Bowl again.
Not
Nick
since
Wright.
Vanderbilt beat Bama and the field goal post ended up in the Cumberland River. Has field goal post been moved so drastically and dramatically from what this original bet was, which was, Dan, they'll be all right when they got guys back.
Now Dan's the Colorado fan with the field goal.
Exactly
post
right.
on
He's
him.
saying, I've moved the field goal so much. That's exactly the position I'm in right now. That is correct. I'm looking for injuries, and I'm looking for strength of schedule.
There's Dan right here.
This is the position I have put myself in because I doubted the Chiefs' offense, and now
Kid can hit the gym.
And now everyone here is saying, Dan, you were too soon on that.
Wow, Tony, you're saying you could easily push this
I'm saying
off
you got to
him.
push that up. You got to
Wow.
hit the gym, push that up.
I mean, that
that-
thing is probably it took dozens of fans to lift this thing.
Gotta push that up.
No, you got to get out for that. Like his arm was pinned there. That dude, come on, hit the gym. Hit the gym.
Field goal post weigh between 900 and 1,200 pounds.
No, that's fine.
That's all right.
That's fine.
I can do that.
You got to get enough.
Yeah.
Dude,
You
hold
gotta
on.
get
First of all,
leverage. Get enough to get your arm out.
First of all, moms carry cars when kids are
That's
underneath
right.
them. Have you
Oh
seen
my
that?
Yes, it happens.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, it does happen. By the way, 500,000 pennies weigh 3,125 pounds.
That's probably less than a Corvette.
You also
Less
have
than
to,
a field goal post.
You also have to keep in mind the field goal posts are resting on the ground, so it's not all 900 pounds that he has to lift.
right.
I love that Tony.
Load bearing.
That Tony and Mike
You got to
here.
push it up and get under.
That's like 400 pounds.
Look, somewhere between where the audience just was thinking that perhaps a percentage of the audience that this was made of fiberglass, okay? I do believe that there are many people in our audience who may have just been learning for the first time when seeing that kid stuck under those goalposts. Oh, that looks like it might be a little heavier perhaps than I thought it was, and that kid looks scared. So much so that I said, feels irresponsible to sponsor this. That realization as he could have been hurt, yes, and not surprising that Tony and Mike say they have the adrenaline strength that mothers have when picking up cars to save their children.
Well, if you remember, Tony just last week had a home intruder come in, and he went and he was running through the halls, boom, 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 knocking things around.
Bare
because he
fists and
thought
bad intentions.
His family was in trouble. I also misspoke. So high school goalposts weigh between 800 and 1,200 pounds. Professional NFL goalposts, which I'm assuming is closer to that, weigh between 1,000 and 2,000 pounds. Wow. So a ton.
Okay, so
I see those things.
His
lifted with
arm
ease.
is caught underneath it. Can you guys
That's
see that? How can
also
he push
weak.
it up?
That's a testament
weak.
to how weak he is.
This is nutty, though, Dan. You have to admit.
I believe that Billy just shocked the audience with the weight of goalposts. I believe the audience right now, wait a minute, they weigh as much as a beluga whale. Like, what do you mean a ton?
You guys are just like, push it off him.
Guys, let's watch the video. Look at how he gets freed. Let's watch how
One guy lifts it.
Apparently, the strongest person on the planet
No, one guy
comes to his
seen.
aid.
One guy
look,
seen. There
One
could be-
guy. Look.
There could be other people lifting.
Look.
No,
That's all you
there's more
need.
shoes
One
there. There's
guy.
at least two people there.
Okay.
Okay, two
Yeah.
guys lifted.
Come on.
That you saw in the video.
Well, you had 9 people there on the goalpost?
The creatine these days is so good, kid.
Beluga whales can weigh up to 1,600 kilograms, which is actually 3,500 pounds.
So it's like half a beluga.
All right, so if both goalposts fell on you, it'd be the beluga whale.
Female beluga whales can weigh 1,500 to 2,600 pounds.
Okay, so
Where beluga
a small
caviar comes from.
Is that so?
Yep,
No.
beluga whales.
That can't be right.
No.
Sure.
No, they give live birth.
No, but
They're mammals.
But the eggs.
No, that
I don't think they
caviar
have.
is fish eggs, and
Eggs.
beluga
Belugas
whales
are
are
whales,
mammals because
yeah.
they're whales.
Yeah.
Let's talk this out, Dad.
You never heard of beluga caviar?
But,
Yeah, but I think that's the
those
brand.
are fish eggs,
Yeah.
and the beluga whale is not a fish.
the penguin is.
Beluga caviar consists of salt-curated eggs of the beluga sturgeon.
Oh, I'm
Hello.
sorry. Okay.
Oh.
Sturgeon, whale, you know.
You said so matter-of-factly
one.
that you were right on that. As
Yeah,
if
I thought
you,
I was.
Yeah.
I grew up thinking beluga whales equals beluga caviar.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
The,
but you're right. That's what makes a whale a mammal is that they give live birth. Yeah.
Although whale sharks, not whales.
Chris, can you get me an
That's fair.
assortment of sounds? I've gotten distracted today because I meant to start the show during the Shadow Show before Billy put me in an ascot with 3 sounds that I wanted to go to today from last week for a particular reason. Can you get me the Kendrick Perkins first on just and please add to the list. Tell me what others are in show history that would feel or sound like this. Get me that Kendrick Perkins sound.
Bam out of the bayou.
So that's him trying to say Bam out of Bayou.
Bam out of the bayou.
And he did not say it correctly. And then we've also got poor Mad Dog last week trying to say the name of Yankees pitcher Schlittler.
And then we'll get into Schlittler, who obviously was Schlittler.
And we also have just Gronk being Gronk.
Emeka Egbegbo.
I'm scared of Emeka Abuka's name because of how he says it. I get scared to say it.
I was saying this in my house to myself all
Emeka
Egbegbo.
Emeka Egbegbo.
That's his name now.
There were 2 stories I thought. You tell me if you think you have a bigger one than this, because I know the Chiefs being 3-3, and the Chiefs are always the biggest thing. But from yesterday's games, I thought the 2 takeaways that I had that were the biggest were, Seattle is good. They're just simply good. And they have somebody who is now challenging Justin Jefferson for Sam Darnold's really going to have like the best weapon in the league, yards per catch at receiver, because I think Smith and Jigba has snuck up on some people. Maybe shouldn't have, but best receiver in the league type good. I'm not sure a lot of people were having that conversation before this season and the number of yards that he has per catch. It's hard to talk about Seattle because that defense travels. They've won 9 straight on the road, and they were favored yesterday at Jacksonville. Like they were favored and should have been, because they're not as dumb as that team is. They're not. Jacksonville, that's exactly how Jacksonville is going to play in all of those games when they meet the very best of the disciplined teams. And Seattle has something in the connection between its quarterback and that wide receiver that they have big plays the way nobody has big plays. So there's that one story over there. But then seeing Tampa again with injuries, and I thought Baker Mayfield pull off the 2 consecutive plays that were like, blow your head off on weight. On 3rd and 16, he's going to put his shoulder down, and he's going to run over 2 defensive backs because he needs 16 or whatever it was. It was 3rd and 15, and he needs 16, and he's going to get stopped 3 yards short the way every other quarterback would in the league, except, wait, Baker's really going to do that with his will? It ain't even going to be about his body because he's too small. We know he's too small. And then no receivers left for him to throw to.
Emeka Egbegbo.
No receiver. Everybody's hurt for him. No receivers. And you're playing the team. Everybody's hurt for them, but they win in this spot when everyone's hurt for them. Fred Warner's gone now too. But you go right after that, you put Tampa and spin it on your finger, the entire city, because you're such a gunslinger that after that play, you're going straight to the end zone with whatever receivers you got. And you get the touchdown. It's like the opposite of everything the Dolphins are.
And that's why DraftKings' latest NFL MVP odds have Baker Mayfield 3rd, number 3, and rising.
That game was so much fun, and I feel bad for the 49ers.
That's brutal. There's no coming back from that one to Fred Warner. For me, that was like the main takeaway is this incarnation of the Niners. I'm not going to say their window is up because they have a head coach that has found ways, but this incarnation of the 49ers, that might have been the window shutting.
But
yesterday.
Just what it takes, right? Like, I mean, so
it was a gruesome injury too. I was really looking forward to watching Fred Warner versus Baker Mayfield.
And he always plays. Like
he's
not the one that's ever hurt. It's everybody else. It's never him. And now Debo's questionable tonight. Like what that sport does and what it's taken in that sport to go from Garoppolo to Mac Jones to how are we going to figure out how to do this, because we got Trent Williams. And we had Kittle. We don't have him anymore. We can make it with Purdy. He's the last pick in the draft. We can make it with Mac Jones regardless. Anything. You don't need to make this about injuries. On 3rd and 15, Baker wasn't going to be stopped by any people who make tackles in that league because that's the story around him now. And then he goes to the end zone on the next play, and he doesn't have his Hall of Famers. Like he's not throwing to Mike Evans.
Baker Mayfield was missing wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, right tackle 1, right guard number 1. His team was somehow more beat up. RB1. His team was somehow more beat up than San Francisco.
Tez Johnson only gets in the position to get that opportunity because everyone else is hurt.
The quote from Jim Nantz as he was calling that incredible rushing play by Baker Mayfield was, "He doesn't have a chance." Oh, yes, he does. It happened just like that. He doesn't have a chance. Oh, yes, he does.
If I told you 2.5 years ago, would you rather have Tua or Baker?
We were doing that conversation. Everybody answered Tua.
And now...
Well, but no, the other conversation that's funny about that, though, this is what's funny about that one, right, Tony? Because Justin Herbert made the play that Tua can't make because Justin Herbert in that spot is of the size that makes you doubt Tua, but not Herbert.
So did Drake May, by the way. We can name like 15 quarterbacks that made the play you needed to make.
Yeah, well, Baker's closer to Tua than he is to Herbert in terms of stature. Not heart. Not guts, not guile, not dog, not balls, nothing. Not C and B's, pal.
Literally nothing.
Not the C and B's.
See, wait a minute. Like, the part that's not fair about this is that only one of them has been racked by brain injuries. I'm not going to question Tua's toughness.
C and B's, though, Dan.
C and B's, though.
I'm not gonna,
cock and balls.
I'm not going to question Tua's toughness, but what I will say is I have never been the person, I do not do this, where I say, yeah, Baker was going to make that first down against everybody. Because I mean, the mythology of sports is silly. Like, we do this after we get the result every time. But to have those two plays back-to-back to beat that team, which has been the champion in that sport, like, it's been champion good. It hasn't quite won the championship, but that team's the standard for you overcome in that sport. Like, look what happened to Baltimore when they can't overcome. Like, that team overcomes. And you slayed them in your house, and you slayed them in, like, the best and most emotional way. The kids who are at that game will remember those two plays in adulthood.
And he does that every week.
Yeah.
Like, Baker Mayfield is making generational fandom for those in attendance week after week.
Yeah, he's become a folk hero in Tampa.
He's a dog.
Yeah. I mean,
not just at Tampa. Baker Mayfield, week after week, is doing something that sticks out on your NFL Sunday. Everyone's come around on this guy. Everybody loves this guy. Everyone that style of play resonates. They know he's not the tallest. All right, he's not genetically blessed, and he is throwing the ball damn near better than anyone in the league right now. He is just a dog.
The thing though that does, I'm not going to go after Tua for toughness, but when I give you the stat of the Dolphins are broken, their quarterback can't beat the good teams. Baker did that at the Seattle team I was just talking about. That Seattle team has won 9 straight on the road. That Seattle team is rugged.
Mm-hmm. And Sam Darnold's pretty good, too.
And it was slinging. They were slinging it back and forth, and Baker took it from him at the end. And this is how the league's stories at that position get rewritten as the quarterbacks get old and go to the booth. Brady and Romo and Aikman, and all of them are in the booth now. But they're telling the stories of the kids, right? And this is how the league gets taken over when you're watching all the games on Sunday, and then you're like, wait a minute. Oh, I've got to pay attention to just Baker now. Everybody get out of the way. Is Baker going to do this in the last 2 minutes? Is Baker going to Baker? Like, this is how you get rid of, nobody's thinking about Ben Roethlisberger anymore. Like, Aaron Rodgers will hold on to the end, but it's in these stories now they have to be in the playoffs for someone like Lamar Jackson. But it is kind of amazing to see that Tua can't beat the good teams, and Baker has climbed out of the sewer to beat the good teams because his career was finished.
Fulfilling promise. It's weird that this is happening with a number 1 overall draft pick, but yeah, that's what happens when you're running scout for the Carolina Panthers as a D end. Remember the NFL 100 commercial? It ends with Baker sitting at a table next to Tom Brady, and Baker was coming off a really good rookie season, and everyone's like, yeah, this makes sense. One day this guy will be a face of the league. Well, he's a face of the league now. He's up there. He's one of the faces that represent this league. No one could have accounted for the twists and turns that story took.
And part of it is just the swashbuckling style and the idea that he will take a tackle. He's not going to slide all the time. And he's so small to be a swashbuckler. You know, you expect that style from Josh Allen, who's as big as a linebacker. But Baker Mayfield doing it as a small guy, very impressive.
I love swashbuckling.
Yeah.
He does honestly seem like a Buccaneer. Like, he seems like he would kill it at Gasparilla.
Yeah.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does Baker Mayfield look like he would kill it at Gasparilla?
Like, Carolina was not a fit for him.
No.
L.A. also, I don't think was really like vibe.
Tampa
for him.
fits.
Tampa, he's a Tampa guy.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
The part about it that to me is the coolest, because we can make up these stories about anybody if we want to believe in the mythology. The part that's the coolest is show me all the other guys in the league as you're watching Justin Fields and what the Jets are. Show me all the other guys in the league, even as I'm arguing with Nick Wright and the rest of you about what Patrick Mahomes looks like when he doesn't have the right receivers. It's not just that Baker Mayfield is winning. It's he doesn't get the cheat code of Mike Evans is always open. Like the receivers he won that game with are not, those are guys that you're not throwing to on Sundays. You can't have all your receivers out. What do you think that would look like if I took, what do you imagine the Dolphin offense would look like if I just took out Waddle, Washington, and Hill?
You killed the Chiefs because they were missing 2 guys.
Nick Wright explains what the hell this bet is next.
Guys, join us Thursday, October 30th. We mentioned it earlier in the show. We're throwing a Miller Lite watch party for Thursday Night Football. Dolphins versus Ravens. Wake the kids up for this one. Like I said, Flanagan's in Kendall, Southwest 88th Street and Kendall Drive. It's a Halloween block party. Costumes are encouraged. Come hang with the crew. Dan, Billy, Chris, Tony, Jeremy, Amin, Dave Damshek, and more. Party starts at 6, kickoff at 8:15. Don't miss Flanagan's $1,500 costume contest. Good vibes plus great football equals Miller time.
good day to be a Baker Mayfield stockholder. I was like diamond hands on that. And you know who Baker has next? The Detroit Lions coming off a loss. That is a big game. I want tickets to that game. If I want tickets to that game, Tony, where should I go?
Game Time?
That's right, because you take the guesswork completely out of buying NFL tickets with the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
Where are you guys on this? What I don't want to contaminate the jury pool. What do you want to know from Nick Wright about what this bet actually is or isn't, or where my confusion is on what the bet is?
Well, I think I want clarification on your confusion, because you're under the impression that this was a bet for a white Corvette.
I woke up this morning with the empty feeling in my stomach that I had to get Nick Wright a white Corvette, and that was going to be pricey.
However, we reviewed the tape, and we didn't get confirmation of that bet made with Nick Wright. And Nick Wright, although we'll give him the floor now, he has conceded that this is now complicated.
Yeah, hi guys. Nice ascot, Dan. You look resplendent as always. This is why it is frustrating to gamble for real money with people that are what I would call more of a casual, other people would say not problem gambler. It was very clear we were betting $5,000. And then over the course of the weekend, Le Batard, who also has a very odd text schedule, which is like you text him in the middle of the day, it might go unresponded, but then he'll text you at 1:30 in the morning as if we're not both on the East Coast, is sending me pictures of white Corvettes. And while I thought the bit with Greg Cote was funny, I didn't understand it. I then text Dan yesterday about, hey, just so we're on the clear here, how do you, if by some chance, even though I knew there was no chance, never a doubt, if by some chance the Chiefs lost, how do you want me to get you your money? He texts back, I don't want a white Corvette. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but I just want to know your Zelle. And so and then this morning, he texts me, this is going to look so stupid in front of your house. And a picture of a beat up old bad Corvette. Meanwhile, I have a weekly betting budget. I had incorporated $5,000 of it to this bet. So if somehow I
told you he bets big. I gamble for real, guys. I gamble, and here's the other piece of it. I am, as happenstance, by chance, in about 9 hours, playing in what will likely be the largest poker game of my entire life, to which I will need bundles of money. And this $5,000 isn't going to make or break that, but it would be helpful. And now I'm in this weird spot where it's like, if Dan really thought we were betting a Corvette, does that make the bet meaning we weren't really betting anything? Because who's going to find, ship, and buy a Corvette? Like, am I now a bad guy because I texted Dan my wire number this morning? Because I'm going to want that money. And if we want to parlay that down the road for the sake of the show to where this is just $5,000 in escrow, and when it gets to a large enough figure to where it could pay for a white Corvette, I guess my comfortability with that is going to depend on how tonight's poker game goes, guys. But good to see you.
This Dan Le Batard off on the side texting you, I don't want a white Corvette, trying to get himself away from that bet he made, only to moments later turn to a microphone and say, Nick Wright has to take this car. It is unbelievable, even for Dan.
I mean, I don't, and here's the thing. I'm not opposed to a white Corvette. I'm not like Greg Cote, where I think it would, Greg, that was unfair. I take that back, and I have too much respect for you to take a cheap shot. I would be opposed to a white Corvette if it were my only means of transportation. But as like a sidecar, like because I already have what is kind of a ridiculous car. It's awesome, but it's a ridiculous car. Because I got it for my wife, but it's our only car. It is a baby powder blue G-Wagon. So like that car already draws some eyes. So if like
Well, see, this is the thing. You put me in such an unflattering light there without allowing for the fact that you're the one who suggested that the bet should be the Greg Cote actual Corvette that he didn't like from his wife with the VIN number.
That is the funniest outcome. But also, Dan, that's because once you start sending me these pictures and then I respond with, well, if this is where we're actually going with it, like here's an actual cool one. If you checked my Google history, it would be old school white Corvette, South Florida. I don't want that. But what I did say was, if we're just going to go full sake of the bit, then we need to reach out to Greg's insurance company, because if I know anything about Greg Cote, he's had the same insurance company since you walked into an office and they hand wrote the slip for you.
Boy,
they definitely have his history, and we can track down that white Corvette and then make the current owner an offer that they can't refuse. Yep. That is if the funniest outcome is that car does become a part of this universe, but I need that $5,000, bro. Like I would have bet an extra $5 on the Chiefs last night. This can't cost me money. Like what can't happen here is the Chiefs annihilate the fraudulent Lions to the point to where Brian Branch, the biggest, toughest guy, safety in the league, is near tears in the locker room saying, and I quote, "I got bullied," which I checked with the league office. Juju's going to have to sit out recess Thursday and Friday because of that. No bullying on this campus. He's almost in tears talking about it, and somehow I feel like I lost money. That can't happen. I'm just telling you right now. So we can do whatever white Corvette stuff we want, but at some point, either in cash that is handed to Mike Ryan that he holds for me for the next time I'm in South Florida, or via, I'm not really a crypto guy.
You're not going to bully me, sir.
Well, what? It's not bullying.
I'm not going to be bullied.
This is the difference between a hijinks better and a real better.
Yeah, you're messing with the guy's business.
I mean,
you don't want to do this.
Dan just wants to do, hey, this is fun.
You're going to stop being friends with this guy real soon if you keep playing.
No, it's just, here's the other thing. The other thing is this, if I can just reveal a little bit more. I then was in a very awkward position because what I won't allow is for me to be free rolling somebody. And it felt like once we were texting about Corvettes, I'm like, wait, are we in a situation where if the Chiefs win, I'm going to want my money, and if the Lions win, Dan's going to be like, you don't owe me any money? And I don't feel, as a guy who's been gambling since I'm 12 years old, I don't feel comfortable with that. I'm not going to free roll you. So
I don't even know what that expression is.
Free roll? A free roll is a zero risk proposition where I can win, but I can't lose.
Dan thought it was free bread.
Well, it was to Nick, given that he knew the Chiefs were going to win and ended up being.
I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. And I don't know how much time we have here, but can everybody for the fifth, it hasn't been that long of doubt, fourth straight year, bend the damn knee? My God, you guys. How many times does this team have to show the Eagles? Did you guys read Rossini's column this weekend? The Eagles anonymous players being like, we're just beat up and tired. We went to one whole Super Bowl in a row. This team plays 20 or 21 games every single year, And the last half decade, like clockwork, people find a reason. This year's going to be different. Watch out for those September champs Buffalo Bills. I've had to listen to the margin of victory champs Lions. The Lions, the biggest, baddest, toughest team on the block, has a 4th and inches from the goal line and splits Jared Goff out because they are so desperate to prove to the world they don't miss Ben Johnson. Who would just run it down somebody's throat. And then, I mean, you don't even know the rules on your own trick plays. You're cheap shotting after the fact. You go up 10-6 and then get boat raced the rest of the way. And obviously, it's going to end with the Chiefs winning. Obviously, they're the best team. Obviously, they're the most complete team. Everybody had the Lions atop their hierarchy. Now the Chiefs knocked them down a peg. Everyone had the Ravens as the greatest 1-2 team in NFL history. Now their season's over. The Chiefs have only won 3 games this year, which is disappointing. But in those 3 games, they have ended Russell Wilson's career, ended the Ravens season, and ended the Lions' aura of invincibility, and the biting your kneecaps quickly pivoted to, we got bullied. We got pushed off the swing set. And so, yeah, the Chiefs are back. Dan, look for that car, and I need that money.
That team's dead.
Nick, before we let you go, just 48 hours after you said LeBron James could play at an all-star level at the age of 50, it was announced that he is out for a month at age 40
Sciatica.
with sciatica. Your response?
And my response is, very rarely do you get, for a hypothetical, a real-life test to see who's right and who's wrong. LeBron James is going to miss like maybe a month of the season with sciatica, an old guy injury. Let's see if he's an all-star this year. My guess is he is.
Okay.
Checkpoint me.
No, but
I'm
what
just
about
telling
10
you.
years from
I'm
now?
just telling you.
What about 10 years from now?
All I'm telling you is, if at 40 turning 41, he can miss, the majority of the time to become an all-star. Listen, if he's not an all-star this year, I'll fold my hand and say I was wrong.
He will be voted in, no doubt.
Well, I don't listen, Mike. I don't know if you want to. I know you reran the tape of our bet when we were discussing this before. I didn't put any qualifiers on how LeBron James at age 50 would be an all-star. I just said that guy would be an all-star at age 50. And if he's voted in this year, despite having the most old man of old man injuries, which is my ass hurts, then I feel like I won the bet.
I think we actually brought up that possibility, but Dan is jealous with how aggressively you move the goalpost.
See you later, Nick. Thank you. His podcast. $5,000 in pennies is what Greg Cote has suggested.
Right. How would you feel about that? 500,000 pennies arriving.
I mean, that would be a pain in the ass, but I'm already never betting money with Dan again, so it is what it is. The thing is this, and you just Zell me. You got my phone number. And I'm not, again, how about, you know what? Binding. Here's what it is. Binding, and because I'm a man of honor, this is how I would like to handle this. We can figure out the white Corvette thing moving forward. However, let's see how tonight's card game goes. If I win, you can distribute that $5,000 amongst the shipping container. And if I lose, I'm going to need it.
How did
I like this guy, dude. Hey, no more free rolls for you over there, big guy.
But we all agree.
Tomorrow's shipping container, today's shipping
Not
container.
Tony,
Right now.
because Tony killed off the Chiefs too, so
Yeah,
he's
Tony
not allowed.
said no.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'll
true.
take Tony's place. I want a piece
That's
of that.
fair.
We'll allow that.
I told Tony he can have the Corvette, though.
Yeah.
I told Tony that you wouldn't
can
want
work on the Corvette in the
You
background.
wouldn't want the Corvette, so he could have the Corvette, I told him. Because he's riding shotgun with me on that Chiefs offense of the last 18 games was the actual Chiefs offense.
Okay, well, listen.
So
Tony
Tony's
can
out of the
ride
will.
shotgun with you in the white Corvette and your horrific football takes. That's fine. I do like Lewis. He says hello to me every time. Wow. You guys can divvy it up as you see fit. But let's just hopefully you guys get it. But again, man of honor, I might need it.
Play well tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll text you guys updates. See you guys.
Jeremy off mic to himself, under his breath. You're pathetic. As you were just doing your thing, your little bit here.
Nick,
Me?
why is this?
No.
Oh, it just sounds like Jeremy's out now. Hold on.
No.
Although
not
if you want
Nick.
Jeremy to be out, we'll accept.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Nick, why is this card game so big?
Just a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
It's a lot of money, Dan.
All right.
Sometimes you have to explain things,
All right.
Dan.
Is it streaming anywhere?
No,
No.
I thought you regularly played in games that were a lot of money. Why
That's
would
right.
that?
I do.
He does.
I do.
Yeah.
But this is
It's well known.
This is. I gotta say this quietly because I gotta take my wife somewhere and she might be right there. This is a bigger game than I probably should be playing in. It's at a billionaire's penthouse. Ooh. But I think I have a huge edge. I've played in it once before. I lost, but it was, call it an investment. And so this is a big swing. Like this game could be a brand new white Corvette. Now I wouldn't spend the money on that, but yeah, this is real. This is real. This is what. Listen, man, you work as hard as me. You have all these extra jobs. You do all these things. It's really just so you can live the exact life you want to live. And what that life means is Monday night, I'm gonna go take a shot. I'm gonna go take a big shot. So I'll see how it goes, and then hopefully I win, and then the shipping container and everyone else wins, and hopefully the only loser in this is Dan and his ascot. See you guys.
See you later. Good seeing
Bye.
you, Nick. Thank you for making the time. I'm going to send him a white Corvette anyway. I'm going to figure out a way to send him the one that Billy's talking about there that has no transmission.
We'll track down my original one. We'll get on that.
He got you how to do that, though. Going through your insurance paperwork would be the way to do that.
Yeah,
So
I'll get on that.
You could give it to Tony if you want.
You'll get on.
Yeah, I like
No,
that.
I will. I'll get on it.
I wanted to ask you guys about something from the sports weekend that I think is probably going to go under the radar a little bit. But Tiger Woods is now emerging from his 7th back surgery. It is lumbar disc replacement. I don't know if any of you have ever had back pain, but when you have back pain, there's like nothing else going on in your life. And so, over the last 4 years, one of the greatest ever, an icon for all time, a sport changer, over the last 4 or 5 years, he's only played in like 15 tournaments, and 4 of them are 36 holes and you can use a cart. Like, if in terms of how aging presents itself in front of the immortals, it usually isn't quite that stark, where my back hurts because of this game. I can't play it if my back isn't right. The reason that I never caught Jack Nicklaus is because his back went bad, because the human back isn't meant to do that many times. So, Tiger Woods, 7 back surgeries. I'm assuming he's physically and fundamentally broken every time he gets up, and I'm assuming that part of his journey has had pills in it because there is pain all the time in a way that is unreasonable. And I say that, I don't say that recklessly. I say it like he has talked about some of the things that are required to stay on top of that sport. I can't imagine how much pain he's in.
I mean, it's been in the news. It's not reckless to know what was going on in the past with him.
But how could it not be, would be the place that I would start with you. But then I'd go another place, right? Because obviously any one of us would say, yeah, worth it. Worth it if you get to beat Tiger Woods. Right up until I give you the singular back pain and say every morning you're getting up with that, and doctors are going to try and fix it for 10 years with 7 surgeries, and it's just going to keep getting worse. It's never going to get better. It's just you're bleeped for life. You're going to be in pain for life. I know everybody would say worth it right up until you wake up with back pain.
Help me understand, because you have to assume he hires the best back surgeons available. If you're having a 7th back surgery, does that mean the first 6 didn't quite work? Like
He also got in that wreck. That was not part of the script. But I do think Tiger Woods would accept everything that came his way to remain being Tiger Woods, a guy who at his peak was bigger than the sport itself.
Agreed. I'm just saying once pain arrives singularly with mortality on this when it's this overt, I can play 15 tournaments, and 4 of them are going to be the same one, and it's going to be in a cart, and it's going to be 36 holes, because what I used to be, I ain't that anymore. But I love it so much that I'm going to keep trying, because maybe I can beat Jack, because Daddy raised me to beat Jack. And all I'm telling you is when the back pain is that bad, I understand. Everybody would say it's worth it because anybody listening to this would say, yeah, I'd like to be Tiger Woods. I'm just saying that back pain is singular. It stops your life in its tracks. Like you don't think about anything else once you get out of bed in the morning, and the first thing that meets you is it hurts to get out of bed in the morning.
Some people have back pain for free. Don't get paid what they get paid to drive in a cart and play in the tournaments that he does, and it's like, yeah, that's terrible. But also, he has access to things that people don't have.
Yeah, my grandpa didn't have the benefit of having the back pain and being Tiger Woods. He just got to be Bob Galata.
Okay, so he has 15 majors. He won't give back the 2019 Masters, obviously. But if you tell Tiger, hey, we're going to take away your 2008 U.S. Open, your 2007 PGA Championship, and your 2006 Open Championship, and you lose like 30% of the back pain, but also like 30% of the income or whatever that came from that, do you think he takes that?
Well, that's one option. I have another one. What he's worth, it says the internet, $1.3 billion, $500 million.
Yeah. No, that's
no back pain?
A divorce. You give up $500 million. You now have $800 million. No more back pain.
Yeah, but he gets a white Corvette.
You get to keep the majors. With my scenario, you get rid of $500 million, but you keep the. Like, what do you think between Billy and I's game? Do you think he gives up a chunk of his money, or
would he give up
the money?
Would he give up $500 million to keep 3 majors?
Yes, I think he would.
I think he.
I don't think he'd have to think about it. I think he would do that easily.
You think he'd give up $500 million?
Yes, because he's Tiger Woods. He can win that money back in endorsements.
No, he can't.
No,
that's part of the stipulation.
Yeah.
He can never go over
it's like
$800 million. He'll never be a billionaire again.
God, he'll be so poor.
He can't. It's impossible.
He can still get in money he's already getting in, but there's no new bigger deals to recoup that money.
I think he's going to do okay.
So let me. I want to ask you guys this because you guys have heard me say before some form of money doesn't buy you happiness, but it helps with the down payment. I would say that most people listening to this, if they have money problems, there aren't a lot of problems bigger than money problems. But some of them would say, nope, my pain is a bigger problem than my money. And once you get to a stratosphere where what you're talking about is Tiger Woods' yacht is going to be the same. He lost that much in a divorce already. He could lose it again. If I eliminated some of the pain that he's walking around in to just let him play golf without pain, I'm guessing that he would like he would pay a great deal of money to have that.
Well, that's why I'm taking away some of his accolades. Now he's not that close. He goes from 12 majors for 15 majors to 12 majors. Does he trade majors for health? And he can't play anymore.
Can I make it simpler for you guys, though? Like, what would I have to pay you to endure back pain that wasn't going to get better? Like, how much?
$1.3 billion is good.
That's the
that sounds
a good number.
To Dan's point, though, if all of a sudden you get 1.3 bill, but your life stinks the rest of the way.
No, it doesn't. I have $1.3 billion.
I think you guys are underestimating terrible back pain for the
think
rest
you're
of your life.
underestimating $1.3 billion.
Dude, I think I would just take my life as it is now, as opposed to getting
instead of $1 billion.
Dude, I mean,
do you know
I'm
how
talking
much good I can
agonizing
do?
back pain for the.
Are you not selfless?
Wow, you
Do
guys
you know
are
how much good you can do with that money?
$1.3
Can I get a little scooter?
It's super easy.
It'd be awesome.
Super easy for you guys to
as
say
I
yes to this.
wheel into our 12th national title celebration.
It's also not like back pain where he can't walk. He can't play golf for a weekend without it hurting.
No, the pain I'm talking about is like every morning you're in pain getting out of bed.
If you have 7 surgeries in 10 years, something's really wrong with your body.
That's right. The selfless good I'm going to do is winning 12 natties with the University of Miami as Arch Manning plays for them.
Let me ask you guys.
Would you take Arch?
I'm proud stockholder.
You would take him next year?
He looked good. He looked good.
Your voice went up when you said that.
No,
he
looked
comes
good.
back, right? He's not going.
He looked really good.
He's not going to the draft next year.
He looked good.
Mike has been doing deep dives the last 3 weeks on how Arch Manning looks against pressure. He actually looks in the pocket the way, and this is something that you can feel, right? Because I thought the easiest betting mismatch in that Texas-Oklahoma game was how good that Oklahoma line is against how bad that Texas offensive line is. But Arch Manning has some moments young amid the frenzy where he looks like there was only one young quarterback I saw yesterday, young quarterback, that looked in the pocket this way, and it was Drake May, where you're like, oh, he's figured out how to move around in there. He's totally comfortable back there. He's feeling things correctly now.
Over the course of 40 years, the Patriots are going to end up being bad for 3 of those years, and the Dolphins did nothing with those 3 years.
They put a couple of 4-12 seasons together, and Drake May is now obviously the first-round talent. And when you put an organization around it that's not Cleveland or Carolina, that withstands Jared Mayo, gets rid of him, and then makes it Vrabel, the Bills have an instant challenger in the division because we can all see, oh, that quarterback can do that. Give Arch Manning a minute, okay? Because it's fair to
Too bad. No more stock. I bought the dip. Wow. I tried to tell you. Red River. Weird game.
Yeah, it always is. And Texas now number 7 ahead of Miami in the future rankings. But the thing that I wanted to say from yesterday, and I want to ask this question because it's gonna skip under the radar from the football of yesterday, because I think many of us learned together, Jacoby Brissett's their backup. And it's a close game. It's nice. It was comforting to see Jacoby Brissett back out there doing Jacoby Brissett things. But the things that happened in the Colts locker room before that game that make them one of the good teams in the league that can escape on one of those weird Sundays where Arizona has no business being in a game, but their defense is really good and the Colts offense is really good. So the Colts offense did things to the Arizona defense. But also, before the game, Anthony Richardson is doing something with those elastic bands and shatters an orbital bone. I can't even imagine how horrific this was in the locker room, where he ends up in the hospital because one of these bands has snapped in his face and now he's hospitalized. But also during that game, they lose their number 1 corner to a concussion from just colliding during warmups with a teammate. And what I wanted to ask you guys, if you're the Colts in that circumstance and they have a down game, and talked afterward about, that was weird. Our energy was totally off because we were like worried because our guy was headed to the hospital and another one had a concussion. Do you think your team is haunted? Do you leave the locker room saying, I don't want to play today, everything here is haunted? That's 2, not 1. I believe there are ghosts here. I don't want to play football today.
Jim Irsay having a hell of a time in the afterlife.
Charvarius Ward is their number 1 cover corner, and he gets concussed before the game, and all of a sudden Brissett's like, I wish I'd done that myself.
It looked like he got knocked out. Like he was running full speed and hit a guy that looked like a fridge, and all of a sudden he was like laying lifeless almost on the field.
I wanted to ask you, this happened twice in college football. So the Arkansas-Tennessee game, did you see that the coach's comm box, which looks like a microwave from like 1950, they knocked out all the comms between the coaches because a kid hit a giant thing that shouldn't be that close to the field that seems dangerous. And it's in a game I was watching, a kid carted off in an ambulance who the week before in Tennessee, or 2 weeks before, ran into a brick wall because it's too close to those 2-ton beluga whale goalposts. Should the brick wall and the coach comm machine be those giant things near violent people moving very quickly so that, does that make any sense to you guys?
No, brick wall was too close.
It's outdated.
I think we saw what the pitfalls of having the brick wall there at the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that ranks right up there with photographers being about 1.5 inches from the end line on an NBA court and players plowing into photographers. Same thing.
What did you guys make of Nick Wright sticking out his chest on the idea that the Lions were bullied? Because I just look, their offense seems like if it would be on the road occasionally against really good defense, it could be slowed just because that's what we've seen happen with Green Bay. It didn't happen against Baltimore. It happened against Green Bay, and it happens against the Chiefs. And that whole game ends up swinging because the Chiefs score a touchdown at the end of the first half, get the ball, and score another touchdown to start the second half, and now Detroit's just chasing.
The Amon-Ra St. Brown drop proved to be pivotal. Like that totally ruined their chances in that game. That was when you look back on it, that totally changed the game.
He never drops the ball.
Never.
No, he's great.
Like, what is that? Like, what? Can you guys get me a drops number? Like, I remember that Larry Fitzgerald had more tackles than drops at one point. I know DeAndre Hopkins went multiple seasons without a drop. I'm finding it sort of maddening the amount of people like Brian Thomas, Tony.
That guy.
How many times does he drop balls?
3rd and 7, and it's for the game. We're driving down the field.
That's twice this season.
It's a catch I would make, Dan.
Dude, that's twice this season.
But then he makes the catch where it gets bobbled up. He's running full speed behind him. He catches it, scores a touchdown, and then Travis Hunter is 9 feet past the line of scrimmage? What are we doing?
Waddle also had a bobbling catch where he's like caught it on the ground, like sliding 4 feet.
I see great. Look, man, the field is not big enough for the athletes on it. Okay, because I saw this weekend in Alabama. They're playing Wildcat with Proctor. He's 366 pounds. Like the fridge was a novelty at 320 because they just hand him the ball. This guy's taking screen passes and running the Wildcat. He's 40 pounds heavier than William the Refrigerator Perry. They're throwing him screen passes.
The way Drake May moves, and then there's Tua.
The field's not big enough for
that's
these
what I'm
human
doing
beings.
now. With my football experience, I am just looking at every quarterback at college, NFL. I'm just like, Tua couldn't do that. Yep. Oh, wow, Tua could never do that. Couldn't do that either.
So you guys are just all out in all the ways you guys have run, and you're wondering why Tua doesn't want to take all the blame when you guys are just done with all of the careers of people in Dolphin uniforms.
I hate hearing him talk.
Yeah.
Makes me so angry.
You used to love hearing McDaniel and Tua talk. Remember? You loved hearing him talk during the preseason when he ripped Flores and gave you the interview while you were scratching your balls the entire time.
Yeah. I mean, that was a year ago now, but.
But you loved hearing him talk then. You couldn't believe how great it was to hear him talk then.
Viore.
Wow, they got that up fast.
Why is that so ready?
What are you doing?
They got it in a second. They got that video up fast.
Wow.
I'm glad that we can just take attention away from my gut and my body.
You loved how he talked then. You loved so much how he talked then. Look at how you're looking at him. Look at how you're looking at him. That man could take those shorts right off you and you wouldn't even notice.
Those are damn impressive shorts, I'll tell you.
The look of love.
No,
That's the look.
That's Tua.
Now you're so out. You and your dad, you descended from Homerism. Look at how you're looking at him. Now you're out on him even speaking, and Billy wants to give him lie serum.
Look how close he is to having his arm around you, too. Look at his thumb right there over your
Is he
shoulder.
touching my shoulder?
I think you're leaning in a little bit there.
Wow. Right after the camera went off, he said, "Let me help you with that string there."
What?
Nothing.
No, he's right.
Thank you, Tony. Tony remembers.
Tony will agree with anyone.
What?
Would you believe that Greg Cote came in here wanting to talk Denny Hamlin? I don't think I'd see the day. It took till he was 71 years old where Greg Cote runs in here with a desire to talk about racing that I haven't seen since him and Gary Long were trudging to 7 miles away from the Homestead Speedway.
That's right.
What? How did Mike Ryan has been trying to get everyone here to talk Denny Hamlin for about 6 months, and everyone ignores him. They wait for him to stop talking. They wait for the breakfast on his breath to end up, wafting away.
I'm a closet NASCAR fan. I'm by no means an expert, but I love their playoff format. I think going from 16 drivers to 12, I think it's a great system that's working. Granted, they tweak it every single year, it seems like. But Denny Hamlin, you don't have to be a NASCAR gearhead to know that, and Mike will correct me if I'm wrong, he's basically seen as the greatest, most accomplished driver who's never won the Cup Series. And now he's close. He's made the championship 4. He's guaranteed his best shot, I think, to win it all. And that's a good story. That's a human interest story. I've never met Denny Hamlin. I don't know whether he's a nice guy worth rooting for or not, but I think it's a fun story to follow.
He relishes being the villain. He also has an in-season podcast that is often revelatory.
What's it called?
He is presently suing NASCAR. He owns another team. Week after week, something dramatic happens. He either wins a race or is directly involved in something seismic, whether it be knocking out his boss's grandson for a race, knocking out a driver for a team that he owns, or allowing Joey Logano to creep back into the final 8 when he himself admitted, like, I wish I didn't pass Ross there. Had I known that meant Joey made the playoffs, I wouldn't have let the defending champion in the final 8. It is a great underreported story. You understand why it's underreported because it's NASCAR and it's having this playoff chase in the middle of the football season. But yeah, he is considered the Buffalo Bills. He is, I think that was his 60th Cup race win. He is by far the greatest driver to never win a Cup Series, and he is right there in the Final 4. In a sport that, in a playoff format that allows for some randomness, it is good to see one of the more consistent drivers actually get to the final
You can't
four.
talk anymore. You have to stop talking once the gearhead falls off. You have to immediately stop talking. You violated the rules there. You've got to. I'm sorry to do this to you. I don't know how rare it is. Shouldn't his team, forgive my ignorance here, shouldn't his team alert him that Logano is in that position if that's something their driver wants?
They should have probably.
would
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. It's not at the front of the mind when he's there. They usually, the spotters do a good job of that, but he was already like fixed into the final 8. Yeah. It was just an oversight, and Logano just turned to the dark arts again to get into the final 8.
Can I just marvel at Greg for a moment? Coming in here, talking NASCAR, talking Dolphins. We talked about Tiger Woods' back surgery. It's really incredible what Greg is going through, because I don't know if you guys noticed, Greg has been hobbling around a little bit today. Yeah. And I was asking around, and I heard that he has an ACL injury. He has to see some specialists, might need surgery, not to put his business out there. And he's not saying anything to anyone about it. He's not telling people, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this or that because of my leg. He's not making excuses. Yeah. He's just powering straight through. And I think he is an inspiration today, and we haven't given him his just due yet.
Thank you, Billy. You know, I don't like the spotlight on me. I don't like it when it's all about me.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I have a torn medial meniscus and a sprained ACL and might need knee surgery, you know, I don't mention that.
It sounds if it's torn and sprained that you do need knee surgery.
It could be. I'm seeing my doctor tomorrow who's going to refer me to an
yeah.
orthopedic surgeon. So I should know very soon.
And here's the thing about him.
By the way.
When I was asking him about it, I was like, oh my gosh, Greg, like this is devastating news. How did this happen? And he's like, I don't even know. Because he's so focused on his work and all of his other responsibilities and everything else that's going on, he's just powering right through. He doesn't even know when it happened, believe it or not.
It is weird because I had a discomfort in my right knee for a lot of weeks. But I assume it's related to age or arthritis, and it wasn't pain. It was just mild discomfort.
Because the strong ones don't feel the pain.
Exactly.
Not today, you
Yes.
said. Yeah.
Is this going to take you out of bowling for a while?
Yes, for sure.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden, it went from mild discomfort to real pain. And so I immediately had an MRI, and that's what it showed.
How much money would you give to not have that pain? How many trophies would you give to not have it? How many
PFBI
How many
championships?
green eye shade awards would you give back in order to not have that pain?
Or PFBI championship.
PFBI is a good one.
I'm an 8-time PFBI champion.
Wow.
Dad's Dynamics Cup. And
But I think only 3 in the modern era.
I would not.
I think
give
5
back,
of those were before the 60s.
I would
before
not
like
give back
1970.
any of them. I would go through the pain.
Jane.